I'm Lauren.
And I'm Daniel.
And our little one, baby Fernandez, is on the way very soon. But we have been traveling full-time for a little over 3 years and for a year and a half in our 30-foot Airstream Classic. Welcome inside our tiny Airstream home, and this is our kitchen. This is one of the main reasons that we chose our Airstream. I love to cook, vegetarian and mostly vegan, but it was really important that we had plenty of counter space to be able to chop vegetables and really just cook on a daily basis. We've got a big, nice farmer's tub sink. It makes it really easy to use. We have tons of great storage underneath the sink, which if we could redesign for ourselves, we probably wouldn't put drawers behind doors, but it works just fine. For utensils, everybody has a junk drawer, whether you live in a tiny home or whether you're in a regular house. And then we finally have trash down here and more utensils. It's also really important that when you're living in a tiny home that you stay super organized. And so we're pretty hardcore about that. So you can see in my storage, we have these special containers where I keep some of our pantry goods. We have our spices, which are really convenient. They've got these little turny things that allow us to keep more spices in one place, which is pretty nice. As we move further back into our very large kitchen, one of the things that we do regularly is move our big cutting board over here and cook on our stove. So we have 3 burners. We added these grates because originally they just had little prongs that were not convenient. And we have our microwave, which is actually convection, so you can even bake cookies in this thing. And then an oven, which I use more often than not, but really, really love this setup as a whole. So this cutting board, we get comments on our YouTube channel about it all the time because A, it's huge, and B, it's beautiful. It happens to be one of the only things that we actually kept when we sold everything that we owned about 3 years ago, but we just loved it so much. And it fits actually really nicely in our kitchen here in the Airstream. So the next little storage spot we have in our kitchen is where we keep all of our plates. You'll notice that we've got coffee mugs up here. We have glass bottles. People ask me about this all the time and how we keep things that don't break because we do move about every week to 2 weeks. But basically, our dishes, even though they're not plastic, we just simply put towels up in this area before we travel and everything stays in place and nothing breaks, which is really kind of amazing. So underneath all of our cooking gear, we have our basic storage. So this drawer is one of my favorite things because it pulls out and we store all of our pots and pans in here. I make a lot of smoothies, so those live here. And then also right underneath here is kind of my random storage junk. But anything and everything that I want to keep for the kitchen and as an extra lives under there. Like I mentioned, we have a baby on the way. And one of the things that is a little less than ideal about our kitchen setup today is that for every single meal that I cook, we're hand washing dishes. And you can imagine that that is not only a huge take for water, but it also is a huge take for time. So one of the things that we're going to be doing in the next couple of months is we're actually removing this microwave and putting in a drawer dishwasher, which I'm so excited about because considering we're going to have even more dishes with a new baby, it's going to be super helpful. Only other thing that I really enjoy about the kitchen is that we do have a little bit of extra counter space. This comes in super handy when we're washing all those dishes I was mentioning. And also when we're entertaining outside, it's the perfect spot to put food or drinks that you're going to be accessing quickly, but don't want to actually leave them outside.
About 3.5 years ago, we knew we really wanted to do more traveling, but we didn't have unlimited funds and we still had the house to pay for. So we knew that in order to live the lifestyle that we wanted, we were going to have to get rid of some of those things.
And we ended up watching a documentary called The Minimalist, and it really changed our lives.
It did. And what we ended up doing was we started to slowly purge some of the things we had until we realized we didn't have much left, and we were sitting in a 2,500 square foot house with nothing in it. So then one day, Lauren said to me,
maybe we should sell our house and live in Airbnbs and hotels and travel the world. We had already been working. We own our own company and had the ability to be remote. And when we started thinking about the pool bill and the lawn bill and the mortgage and adding all that travel on top of it, it just didn't feel like it made sense.
So we posted the house for sale, and we figured at the very most we were going to travel for roughly 6 months, and then we would, after we traveled the world, we'd come back, we'd find another house to live in. But what we didn't expect
is that we fell in love with tiny living. When we were living in hotels and Airbnbs, we had next to no space. And then when the pandemic hit, we moved into our Airstream, which has about 250 square feet. And now we kind of think it's huge, and we love it.
So 6 months turned into a year, which turned into 2 years, which turned into 3 years. And honestly, there's no end in sight to this lifestyle. We want to keep it going.
Living in the Airstream, we work full-time. So this next section is where we store a lot of that work stuff. Again, super organized, because when you live tiny, you've got to make sure everything has a place, or else you're just going to be living in a mess 24/7. So this is kind of where we keep a majority of our work stuff. From magical office supplies to daily vitamins. And then, like I mentioned a minute ago, we do have a YouTube channel as well. So we have tons of memory cards and batteries and all sorts of stuff that we store up here for easy convenience. But in the back here is our entertainment center. As you can see, we've got a lovely TV here that actually pulls out and might need a little bit of WD-40. But this is where we're able to stream videos. We watch a lot of Netflix from our Apple TV on here. And then we also have a full surround sound system in our Airstream. So that's controlled from here. Our dining room table not only is the place where we eat, but it's often mostly the place that we work too. So Daniel and I both work full-time on the road, and so we have our computers here a lot. One thing that's great about that, though, is being a remote worker, there's a lot of posture issues. So the table actually goes up and down, and in this cabinet, there's just a little button here that allows us to move it up and down according to what we need for, like, whether they're working, whether we're actually eating, or just enjoying some lounging space. Also, our Airstream sleeps technically 6. 2 people could technically sleep here. The table actually can go all the way down to the bottom, and we have cushions that can be added on top of it so that it makes a pretty comfortable sleeping area. And these cushions can be removed, so even a full-sized human can really sleep here. One of the things that I love about this dining room area is the sneaky storage. So right underneath this bench area is actually another place where I can store all sorts of kitchen gadgets. I keep all of my food prep containers in here. I'm from the South, so you know we can't live without mason jars. And we also store our wine glasses under here. Obviously, I'm not getting to take advantage of these recently, but Daniel definitely is. Underneath this one is where our water system actually is stored. So that's one of the things that we have regular maintenance for with our Airstream. Every other week or so, Daniel has to reset our Aldi water system, and that's something that is really different than if you're living in a regular home. Moving a little bit further back into our tiny kitchen is one of the things that I'm probably the most proud of. And to be honest, I can't take full credit for this because we have a friend who's a professional organizer who helped me Pinterest my fridge. But this is one of the things that help us keep not only really organized, but also keeps our grocery bill down. Whenever we are shopping for food, I always make sure we use everything first and then restock. So we have a certain number of fruit containers that we use. We have storage specifically for produce and veggies. Seriously, since we got this organized with our refrigerator, it's probably saved me a couple $100s a month on groceries, just simply by not overbuying. And then also, just in case you thought my refrigerator was organized, my freezer is too. You can see we hold all of our meats, which for us is AKA like frozen burritos or vegan lasagna. All of my smoothie stuff. I'm a little OCD about organization. As you come a little bit further back past my beautiful refrigerator, we have a really cool pantry setup too. Pulls out nicely, so you can see, can keep that organized as well. And we even recently put this cool little latch on here so that when we travel, it stays in one spot and you don't have any kind of breakage or issues. And then another great little organizational place is this is where I actually keep our spices. Like I said, since I like to cook on a daily basis, those are pretty important. And then the last tiny little piece of our kitchen, I actually purchased these macrame pieces, and this is where I store all of our onions and fruits and potatoes. It's just a convenient but pretty little extra storage piece. Welcome to our living room, which might be small, but is very functional. So we have a big, beautiful sofa, which is actually really comfortable because it has these nice recliners in them. And just in case you need to charge your phone while you're reclining, these little buttons double as USB ports, which is pretty great. In addition, this little piece right here provides a really nice little table for being able to eat. We actually do kind of eat and have drinks here pretty often. And we've also got some storage on the side here, which we store extra pillows for the bed that's in the dining room area, and also a couple of little like random knickknacks here and there. Above me is actually a new thing that we're working on here in the Airstream, is storage for when baby Fernandez comes. So we've emptied out everything that was up here originally. We've got these really cool new containers that we're using. This is where we're going to be storing diapers and baby clothes and blankets and all that kind of good stuff in the near future, because we're also planning to have this area double as baby's room and putting our bassinet right here. Will it work out perfectly? Who's to say? But we're keeping our fingers crossed it'll work at least for the first couple months. One really important thing for us, since we work full-time on the road, is getting Wi-Fi for our rig. So we have our Wi-Fi solution over here that is actually from a company called Bix Wireless. We love this solution. They're a locally owned company, and it actually gives us unlimited internet. And because we do a lot of YouTube uploads, it seriously has some massive bandwidth. So it pretty much works like it would as if we were back in a sticks and bricks. So what do we do for a living to be able to travel full time? When I was back in college, it was when you had to have a college email address to be on Facebook. And I talked a couple of local businesses into letting me run their social network marketing. Fast forward 12 years later, we have an advertising agency and a team of people who actually help us to grow companies through branding and marketing solutions. So now we just do it on the road, and we encourage our team to do the same, because with the way the workforce is today, you can totally be remote and get most of your stuff done for a lot of different types of jobs. We're about to embark on our newest adventure with our tiny living, with bringing a newborn into the mix. This is our first baby, and so it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but we're excited about it. If you want to follow our journey and see more about our tiny living lifestyle, you can check us out on YouTube at wanderlocal.com, or we also do the Instagram thing, and you can find us there at wanderlocal too.
When you're living in a tiny home, space comes at a premium, and the closet is no exception. So I'm most proud of the modifications we've made to this space. This right here is where we hang all of our heavy coats. And right beneath it is where we keep our dirty laundry. And we do the laundry at the campgrounds. We don't have a washing machine here in our camper, which kind of is the one thing that I wish we could add, but unfortunately it takes up a lot of space. And with 30 feet of space, we don't have a lot of wiggle room. Now this next closet is where we've done some modifications, and typically it would just be another hanging section to the closet, but instead we've installed some custom shelving. And to go with that custom shelving, we've added these wonderful bins, and one of the really cool things about these bins is that we've learned file folding from a friend of ours, and because of this file folding technique, we can stack so much more clothing in a very, very small and tight, compact space. So because of that, we're able to pack a lot more into this closet with these custom shelves than we would if we just had the hanging closet. Beneath the closet, we've got our breaker box, and then beneath the closet over on this side, we've got our fuse panel as well. Another advantage to going with a 30-foot Airstream as opposed to some of the smaller rigs is that we have some separation between the shower and the bathroom. When we're hooked up to a campground, we have plenty of hot water from the city line that comes into the Airstream. When we're boondocking, we're reliant on the 54-gallon fresh tank that we have. And because of that, we need to be cognizant of our water consumption. So typically when we're at a campground, we can take hour showers, but when we're boondocking, we try to keep it between 5 to 10 minutes in length so we don't fill what's called our gray tank, which is basically where all of the water rushes into, and you don't want to overflow your gray tank. One of the really cool things about our RV toilet here is that we've got plenty of storage space. So you've got your sink, your toilet, and then lots of pull-out cabinetry that you can use to store extra toilet paper, and Lauren has a lot of things that she uses to prep for the day, so thankfully we have a place for all of that. And welcome to our bedroom. What I'm laying on right now is a queen-size mattress, and it's a memory foam mattress, so it's very comfortable. One of the advantages to this mattress is that it lifts up and we have storage underneath, which, again, if you need extra storage, this has plenty of it. Another advantage is that we both have our own side tables as well. So unlike some rigs that only have one side table, we've got one on each side for our own personal belongings. Books, clock, whatever else you want to put up there. Now above our bed, we each have storage for more clothes. And again, we've added these handy dandy bins, which allow us to stack plenty of clothes. Now let's take a look at the outside of the Airstream. And one of the things we absolutely love is this beautiful aluminum finish. And when we picked this up, we had a ceramic coating added. And what that does, it allows you to go longer between washes. So in the year to year and a half that we've owned this Airstream, we've probably realistically washed it 2 to 3 times, and it just maintains this beautiful finish. People think we're like always washing the Airstream, but in reality, we're hardly ever washing it. When we first started camping, we had no idea how friendly and how safe the camping experience would be. So one of the things that we did was we installed a Ring doorbell. We've since learned that campers are generally all super nice people. We had nothing to worry about. Maybe we were being a little bit overly cautious, but it is kind of a cool gadget to have installed. One of the things you don't commonly see on a lot of Airstreams is what this thing has, and it has 4 huge awnings, 2 of which cover the entire length of the Airstream, and then 1 in the back, and then one in one of the quarter panels. And one of the really cool features about one of these awnings in particular is that you can operate it from your cell phone to deploy it. It's fully automatic. And this behind me is our Wander Local vinyl that we had applied. One of the things we wanted to do when we were launching this channel is we wanted to build a community. So because of that, we've met a lot of people on the road that have seen us driving and have engaged with us that we've become personal friends with. And it's been an amazing experience. So if you're interested in checking out some crazy Airstream adventures, you'll definitely want to check out our channel. One of the really cool features is up on the roof, and it's 3 90-watt solar panels, which gives us 270 watts combined. So the advantage to having solar is that it will keep your batteries charged, and we can go on average for up to a week with using a combination of the solar panels and occasionally a generator if we want to power the 2 air conditioning units that are also on the roof as well. Another advantage to this particular model that doesn't even come with the newer models is that this comes equipped with 2 40-pound tanks of propane. And because we power our stove, we power our heating system, and all those things with propane, having these two 40-pound tanks means we can easily go a week in the coldest weather without fear of running out of heat to sustain a comfortable environment in the interior. One of the favorite things about the YouTube channel that we've started is that we've built this amazing community of people that we've literally talked to on a regular basis, and it's been inspiring for us, and we've inspired others as well to do things that they normally would have never thought they could have done. My advice to you is if you've ever thought about living this lifestyle, take the plunge. You will not regret it.
If you've ever thought about living tiny, don't wait any longer. Life is too short, and living tiny is a really freeing, amazing experience. When Daniel and I first got started, we said, okay, we're just going to commit to 6 months. If we hate it, we can always go back and find another home. That being said, I don't think we know anybody who has actually made the leap and gone back, so fair warning there. Tiny living is pretty fantastic.
Now that you've had a tour of our entire tiny home, it's time for you to hit the road. But before you do,
like we say on our YouTube channel, make sure to wander local this week, aka get out in your own community and explore. There's a lot to see, because trust me, it's good for the soul.